Hi and welcome, it's Ruth here at artfulstampin.co.uk. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator for Stampin' Up, which is this awesome paper and stamp company, well, primarily stamps, and its accompanying accessories. So I run classes in my local town, and for those I have to design usually about 4 projects. If we're doing a more complicated project, it's less than 4 because the duration of the class is about 2 hours and we need to get everything done in that time. And the other day on my live we were talking about ideas for future videos for you guys, and I am aware that I do have quite a few demonstrators who watch my channel and were interested in how I prep classes and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm going to be doing with you guys today. Hi Steph and Deborah and Janice. And I had a little bit of a play earlier on. So this is not from scratch. I know that I said I might come on here and do something completely from scratch, but I wanted just to get on, and I was kind of like preparing dinner. So in between preparing dinner, I was kind of toing and froing. Okay, so I will talk through my thought processes so far. Let's just move that glare out of the way. So I wanted to use the honeybee stamps as kind of the focal point, and possibly some of the detailed bee dies. And as I was tidying my room today, I came across these card blanks and these sections here and these as well in a baggie. And these I know are left over from a card I designed in the summer for a Christmas event. Hi everybody that's still coming in. Hi Karen and Jackie and Betty and Becky. Lovely to see you. And hello to everybody who's watching on the replay. Thank you so much for joining me. I know not everybody can join me at this time of day. So these were left over, and I distinctly remember cutting these because it took a little bit of figuring out some maths, because I wanted to get 2 card bases and a matting layer out of 1 sheet of A4 cardstock. So this was designed to be able to fold over with this piece to be stuck on there, just to create a slightly more interesting fold. Now I've decided I'm not actually going to be using these pieces, but I am going to cut my bases with this sizing so that I do end up with pieces like this, and then I might use that to create other cards in the class. So that's one of my tips, is when you're cutting your cardstock, don't feel like you're wasting pieces. You know, think about how you can use them perhaps for another card. Okay, so I will come back to the measurements of this in a minute. Okay, so I just wanted to talk through with you my thought process. So I thought I'd use this. Then I also wanted to use the celebration papers that you can earn for absolutely free when you place an order of £45. And I'm aware that I have only one packet of this so far. I have actually placed an order today, so I'm hoping for another packet if I need it. But I'm just aware of cutting small pieces of this, because I know that I'm a bit limited as to what I have. So I decided that I wanted to, I've got this piece here. Wanted to have this. Then I wanted a black piece there, and then the gold piece on top. All right. So in order to think through and be very frugal and not too wasteful, I then sort of have a think about how I can cut my cardstock in a super efficient way. So for me in the UK, because my cardstock measures 21 centimetres across, I know that I can get 3 columns of 7 centimetres out of a piece of cardstock. That is the best way for me to use my sizing in the UK. Now, I appreciate that you guys in the States will have to just rejig and think this. So you just have to kind of think, you know, your width divided by 3, whatever that is. Okay, I'm sure you guys can do the maths. So your width of cardstock divided by 3. Then ideally I wanted to get 3 out of the length. So for me, because my cardstock is just under 30 centimetres, I need to cut this cardstock at 9.5 centimetres and 9.5 centimetres in order to get the maximum amount out of that. Again, you guys in the States, you'll have to figure out what is your, your width divided by 3. So my width and length divided by 3 ends up being this size here. Now you can see I've already cut out a B shape from there because I'm going to be sticking some DSP over the top like that. And I've just realised I'm going to end up with a bit of a gap there. So I may have to stick something at that. I didn't think that through. Maybe I could use these pieces to stick on the back. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that was clever of me, wasn't it? Okay, I might just go back to the drawing board and just go, you know what? I'm just going to use a normal piece of cardstock. What do you think, guys? What do you think I should do? Shall I go with my interesting fold, or shall I save that for something else? Oh, I was like getting on so merrily. Never mind. Okay, right. Now my other thought is, I'm just going to ignore the fact I've made a really big cock up there. My other thought was to incorporate another colour. So we've got black, white and gold. And I did think of adding a little bit of soft seafoam because it's just a bit different. I know lots of people are teaming this with yellow. But I thought it's actually quite pretty to have a little bit of blue in the mix here. So I'm thinking of adding some blue there. But that was all going to be super sensible with that design because I was going to do some blue stamping down the side. Right, let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, Melanie's not been well. Oh. I hope you feel better soon. Janice is prepping for her business builders meeting. Fantastic. Oh, have I frozen? What's going on? Nope, I'm still here. Okay. Sheila says, I got lucky catching you. Yay. Hi, Sheila. Hi from Florida. Yay. Go with the interesting fold, says Honeybee. Okay, well, if I go with the interesting fold, I may have to then cut something else to go, to go behind. Or I could use, now let's see how big this is. No, that's not quite. Or maybe I could use, let me just see how wide this is, because if it's under 3 inches, ooh, I could maybe use some of the DSP. I could go for using a bit more of a boring one. That's a good idea, Steph. Put a piece of white cardstock on the back. Or I could just use some of this. Let's have a think. Put a piece of that. What else is there? Be ashamed to not use the black and gold, but I suppose I could give it as an option to my ladies. It's up to them what they want to use. But if they wanted to flick that over, they could do. Hi, Rhonda. So glad I'm not the only one that has those tiny ones. Yes, you like the interesting fold. Okay, let's see if there's any other darker. Well, there's that one. that's quite nice. There we go. Now I'm thinking if we cut this, now this is where, and I'm not going to apologise for this, I'm actually quite pleased that in the UK we tend to use inches and centimetres, and we have to because the cardstock comes in inches, sorry, the DSP comes in inches and the cardstock comes in metric. So sometimes when we go between the two, it actually works out really well for us in terms of the measurements. So I'm actually going to cut this at 3 inches, and I'm hoping that this is going to measure. If I do this at 4 inches, let's see if that will work out. I'm just going to pop that there like that so I can see. Yep, 4 inches is going to work. Yay! So I know then I can get quite a few pieces. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll get 12 pieces out of one sheet of 12 by 12. Ta-da! It just makes cutting up so much easier when it kind of fits the paper. There we go. You could cut another bee and put it on the inside with its bottom wings on the outside so you see the whole bee. I could. Yeah, I'm not sure if it would have fitted on if I hid it right on the side. Let's have a look. Oh, I might have been able to. So I would stick the black there. If I put the bee, oh, it's really cutting it fine. Yeah, if I was being really careful, I may have been able to do it. Oh, hold on. No, that is my. This is a boo-boo one that I cut before. That's slightly longer. Oh, pants. Let's measure this. Oh, no, that's right. That was a short one. No, I don't want that one. Right, okay. Back on track. I think I'll go with this design because if I do have to cut that bee really close, I could just end up messing up loads of pieces of cardstock. So I think this is a good option. And it's just got that on the back, which is fine. Okay. So let's keep going in terms of the design, and then once I finalise the design, I then can cut everything out. So we'll go back to my little blue, hint of blue there, and I want the bee there. And I would really like to be able to fit a sentiment somewhere here. But if I can't do that, I've got to think, right, what am I going to put the sentiment on? So I've got a hello that could fit quite easily. And what I will say to my ladies is that if they want a different sentiment, they're welcome to use one. But if they don't think it's going to fit, that maybe they could reserve it for the inside. They could just pop it on the inside there. Right, let me grab a block and some black ink. Hi, Bev. Nice to see you. Okay. Okay, so if I put that there, I've got a little bit of space there for my hello. Hi, I love to journal. First time seeing a live show. Oh, lovely. Welcome. Welcome. Everybody, please say hello to I Love to Journal. It's her first time on a live. There are quite a few people here who are, I don't know, they've been with me a while and they're used to chatting to me live. And we like to welcome newbies. There we go. That's just really cute. Okay, so that's that for those pieces. Then I would really like to have a go with maybe stamping the floral up the edge of my card here, so it's just peeking through from when that design is on there. I'm thinking that would be quite nice to have peeking through. So I'm going to get the Seaside Spray ink pad. Where's it gone? Oh, hi, Rhonda. Oh, there we go. Thank you, everybody. I know everyone's so good at being welcoming. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to have a little play on my scrap here to see how I'm going to get it up there. Or do I want to have it a bit more like that? Ooh, I could have it coming out that little flower there. See if I can get it coming off a stem. Oh, it's doable. I don't know if my ladies will be able to do that, but I've got to set a good example. Oh, sorry, it's my head getting in the way. There we go. So I'll just have it slightly off. Oh no, let's bend that round like that. Oh, there we go. Do you think it needs to have it matching on the other side? What do you think? Like, because I've got the other blue one, haven't the other design, that could go up this side. Or do we want it asymmetrical? Because I think when it's closed, it's slightly covered up, but when you've got it standing up, it shows really nicely. It is Mary in Canada and May to my family in Scotland. Oh, cool. Well, Janice is from Scotland too. So I'm just wondering if you guys think I should put the blue down the other side. Do you think I should put blue down the other side, May? What do you think? I'm putting that there because we're going to have blue, a little hint of blue behind there. And then that on there.
That looks nice.
Do you think it should have like this design on here going down this way?
No.
No.
I think it needs more blue.
It needs more blue.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put it though.
Neither do I.
No blue on the other side. Everyone's saying no, keep it off. Okay, let's just stick it together and then we can go from there. Everyone likes it asymmetrical. Okay, so what I tend to do then for a class is I will cut up all the pieces needed, including especially with these more fiddly die cuts. I tend to do it already for my classes because I now have about 12 ladies and we sit around this huge table, and in order for them to use a big shot, they have to get up and go and have a go. If I was in like a big room where I could have a separate table for the big shot, then I would probably set the big shot up with the dies and they would do it themselves. But because it's pretty much once they've sat down, they want to sit there with their coffee and stuff, I tend to just put everything in a package. So when it comes to actually putting everything together, I will cut all the elements and then put everything in an envelope. So then when I go to class, I just hand everybody an envelope, and then there'll be a basket with all the different elements in it. But I will come back to more of that in a minute. So let's just assemble this. So it's obviously really easy. It's just a bit of glue. It's nothing too complicated about this assembling. Occasionally we might get somebody who sticks the wrong side or whatever, but it's usually fairly straightforward. So that fits nicely there. And I always say to people that, no one's going to know that there's a big hole there. Because sometimes if I have a new lady, she's like, I've got a big hole in my card. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. No one's going to know. So, I think most of my ladies know that I'm quite frugal. I like to stretch supplies. So there we go. So the reason why I've chosen to do it this way, and I know there may be a few of you guys out there who are used to designing cars and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, why am I doing that? But what I'm going to talk through the design process so that you understand why I've chosen to do it in this way. So here we've got the white and the gold, and I really am a great believer in using contrasts in car design, because it's contrast that actually makes pattern show up better. So by having that black border, it really helps to make the white and gold stick out. And then also it's going to help show up that bee when we put the bee on. So let's just stick the white. Now I have to issue a big disclaimer here. This white circle is cut out using a retired punch, because Stampin' Up! Don't supply the 1 3/4 inch punch anymore. We do have the circle dies, but when it comes to prepping 12 people for a class, and sometimes I might be using the circle a few times, it's so much easier to punch. So keep hold of your circle punches, people, because they are so useful for prepping for classes. What else have I said? I would say no looks good with it. I'm thrifty too. Hi, April. Okay, so let's make sure this is got the hello and it's sitting up right. There we go. Now this is the bit where I think most people would fall down. They put far too much glue onto the bee. So I would be saying to my ladies, squeeze the glue until they see a tiny little drop on the end, and then just dab onto the thickest portions of the bee and actually spread that glue around. Don't be squeezing that bottle again. You do not need to squeeze it. That one drop is more than enough. Okay, and if anything, it's a bit too much. So I'm spreading it around as much as possible so that we get the least amount of glue on there. And then you're going to press that down. Okay, and as you can see, I didn't bother putting it on the wings because I think it's quite nice to have the wings look like they're flying. Okay, right, that's all done.
That looks good.
Thank you. See, I've got my little helper's just had her shower. Are you all ready for bed?
Yeah. No.
No. Now I'm wondering, what about with a sponge putting a little bit of black onto the edge there? What do you think, May? Just to help it stand out a bit, because I'm feeling like I'm looking at this and it looks a little bit anemic. So I thought I did have a sponge on my table earlier today. Let's get some black. Right, so don't need a lot, so we're just aiming for the edges.
Someone said it's a good idea.
Yes, I think it will ground it, yeah. Just just makes everything pop a little bit more, and it's really good to, if you can, repeat shapes. So we've got that black rectangle already there, so it's good to kind of repeat it again, and it will help everything to show up better.
Everyone thinks it's a good idea.
They do. There we go. Now I'm actually tempted to put some black around that now. What do you think? Don't leave it. Maybe put some pearls. What do you think?
I'm seeing if everything else is a good idea. Ooh, honeybee stamping 5 says go for it.
No. Okay,
Yes,
let's do a bit more
go for
black.
it.
Go for it. Do it, says Deborah. Do it. Just the tiniest bit around the edge. See, this also adds something for my ladies to do. So one thing you do have to remember is that every time, you know, we're kind of going, oh yeah, let's just add a bit here, add a bit there. But when you've got 4 ladies or gentlemen making one card at a time, they're going to have to wait on each other to be passing different things around. So you've got to think, right, well, while one's sponging, another one can be stamping. You know, you've got to think of all the different, you know, jobs that they can be doing as they're sitting there. So... And then if you design a card where there's very much a first step that they've got to do first, you must tell them, because otherwise they'll get in a bit of a tiz. So if it's complicated, it is worth maybe writing a crib sheet down, a little instruction sheet for them. And if there's lots and lots of people, sometimes I will take a photo of the card, and then with that photo I will put information about what to do and different steps. So normally they will have this card in the basket with all the other elements. So now, because I'm a week away from my actual class and I will be using some of the products in this week, so I can't pack them, what I would do now is write a list of all the products I used on here, and so I have that list, and then when I go to pack I'll have everything. So I need 1 Whisper white card base, then I need a 3" by 4" DSP gold white.
Someone's from Canada.
Okay, let me get you in a bit closer then.
Someone's
You can see my list. Then I'm going to need, and then this is where it's worth then, where's my ruler? Just double checking your measurements and everything. Hi from Prince George. Hi Marilyn. Your pointers on using retard punch, cutting centres automatically, etc. are going to let your customers know how much they can get. Yes, absolutely. So 7 by 9.5 centimetres. So I mean, again, I apologise to those of you who only work in inches, but you figure out the best way to use your paper. So that's black card stock. Then I need to cut 6.5 by 9. 6.5 by 9 centimetre. Oh, my pen has decided not to work.
Yeah, back up everything.
DSP gold hexagon. Okay. Then 2" seaside spray circle. Then a 1 3/4" Whisper white circle. Then black bee die cut. And then once you've got all your different components, then you can write things down like the, what do I need? The honeybee stamp set. And it's honestly, it's worth writing everything down because everything is fresh right now in your head. So honeybee stamp set, black ink, seaside spray ink, a sponge. Now I would even write glue because sometimes if you need dimensionals, you do need to write dimensionals down to make sure that that table has dimensionals with it. And I'll show you the baskets that I tend to use. So I've got these baskets here. So in would go the stamp, the ink. Yes, darling. It's okay, I can read them. I use a combo of centimetres and inches as well. I wonder if Bobby's ordered it. I'm not sure, Bev. I'm not sure if he's ordered it. Hi, Wendy. Then also I would sometimes even put like the size block I need. So if any of my customers want to use that, I then make sure I got block B. And then for this one, I might be able to get away with block B for this. Yeah, I can. Okay. Block B times 2. Okay, can anyone think of anything else? Is that everything? I don't know whether to put a few little pearls, you know. I think some little pearls might look nice. If I've got enough. Oh yeah, I've got a brand new packet, so it's always worth checking that you have enough pearls. Because if you've got 12 people, you know, 12 people times 3, that's 36 pearls you're going to need. So my upline would only put the stamp on the block that is going to be used. Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but you're not then showing off the stamp set to your customers. You know, it's nice for them to actually see what is on there, you know. So, yeah. Oh, now the other thing I'm going to be doing in this class, and I think I'll accompany... oh, I know what, let me stick this down first. I might put this in the same box as this. Now, this is the bit where some people might get in a bit of a tiz. So, what I do is say, right, before you stick it down, ladies or gentlemen, just you need to figure out where the glue is going to go. So this, you place it down and you go, right, that's right in the middle. So the glue has just got to go from there to there. So just put glue there before sticking it down. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a hot mess.
Did you glue it on there?
No, we don't, well, you could put glue on the other side if you wanted to. Something gold. Colour the pearls. Ooh.
Yeah.
Hi, Cindy. Less chance of losing stamps. Yeah, they would only, I mean, my ladies would only take out, and they're really good at like packing up. They help me pack up, so they, you know, and I leave my rubber, especially with these ones, I leave that there so it's obvious what's missing. But no, I think it's sometimes helpful because it's nice for them to see the whole stamp set, you know, see it in context, see what else is in there, you know. Anyway, that's his personal choice. I mean, if she feels that some might go walkabouts, then fine. But
Are we going to colour pearls?
oh, now what colour could I colour them?
Gold.
I haven't got gold.
Oh no.
I could do the blue. It will look like blue poop coming from the bees.
No.
Sorry. How about including the blends? Yeah, so the blends marker will go in the box as well. So Yeah, they're quite familiar with colouring in. Now, is this
Somebody
the
says
light
blue.
one?
Somebody
Yes,
does
it's a
say
dark.
blue.
Yeah, it's very, very pale.
Squeaky.
It is squeaky. So that'll go straight in my basket.
Why do you use scissors?
Because it's just easier.
Like tweezers.
Hmm.
Don't use tweezers.
Yeah, you could use tweezers. It's just what I had on hand. There we go. Oh, it moved. Oh, it didn't like that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you would try to put one in the middle.
Oh, for some reason it didn't like it.
Is that the one that you took off?
Oh, it's all right now. There we go. Oh, sorry, I did that all off screen.
Mom!
Sorry. Yeah, it brings in the seaside spray. So sorry, guys. Oh, I need to point that a bit
Someone
closer.
says all yellow. You
All
can have
yellow.
too.
Yes, you could do yellow, but I was trying to stay away from yellow because we are going to be making. Now, I completely, what's the word? Case this. Somebody shared this on a Stampin' Up forum on Facebook. Look how adorable this is. So this is made using the little the May. What are you doing? This is use the blah, 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 blah. I can't speak now. The mini curvy keepsake box, which I'm happy to say is still on sale. You can buy this as a carryover from the autumn winter catalogue. And look, you stamp that onto there. Right, if I open it up, you'll see how easy it is to do. And you do need to have some post-it notes to mask off some stuff, but I'll show you that now. Oh, come on, behave. Right, so you get your post-it note before you stamp. And what you do is you just pop that there like that. And look. Put that there, like that. And then you're able to stamp that one, and then you just swap it and do the others. And then you stamp the bee, and you cut the bee in half, and then you can put together your... Oh, now I wonder, oh May, can you pass me one of those little candles? There's little candles over there. Will a candle fit in? Yeah, this is such a gorgeous idea. It's as I said, it's not mine. I cannot take credit for it. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember the name of the demonstrator who did it. But if anyone knows, please do share. And she did a little black bee. I stamped mine in yellow and just put a little bit of brown around the edges. And then she put a little bee on the side as well. But there we go. How cute is that to go with? Actually, do you think a black bee would be better, May? What do you think? Yeah. You think a black bee? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the only issue is that the bee is cut out using the Big Shot. Now, if you don't want to take your Big Shot with you, there is a way around it. So what you do is take your Stamparatus and you will cut out, you'll pre-cut out the shapes, and you will cut out a template that will go into your Stamparatus, and you set up your stamp and to fit where the template is, and you just basically tell people not to move the template, and they will put their bee down, and then they will ink up the Stamparatus, and then they'll stamp their bee. All right, so that is the way you get around not having to take your Big Shot for stamping little elements like this. All right, so no, it wasn't Liz Yule, it was somebody else. Somebody else, yeah. Double love this. Yes, yeah. Please, if you do copy it and if you do put it on the internet, I will try and find out the name of the person, and I will put it in the description below, because I do not want to take credit for this. This was not my idea. Okay, so there we go. So that will all go in one basket. So all these, where did I put them?
Here.
There we go. The packet, that will go in there. So I now need to write an extra bit to this list of what I need to do to set up for that. So let me put pearls and seaside spray, stampin blend. Okay, so that will go now with that. So then if you could could you get me a cellophane baggie from that one of those drawers? No, that's not a cellophane one, that's a plastic bag, but if you root around in there, cellophane is the ones that I put my cards in. No, the same drawer, pull it out, like you know, like these. So this will go in a cellophane baggie, and oh, that'll do. That'll keep that safe. Yeah, bring that. Yeah, bring that one. Bring that. Quick. Thank you. Because you wouldn't believe how ink pads do get open when everyone's busy, and so often I've just like seen this plonk down on an ink pad, and they don't mean, you know, I don't take it personally. They don't do it deliberately. It's just that if you do want to protect your card, put it in a baggie. So that will go with that. That goes with that for now to keep that safe. And then I'm going to write a separate list. So I need what blocked? I think I probably need that block, don't I?
Oh, look, 36.
So what block is this? This is block D. So I need the honeybee stamps again. Stamps, block D. I need crushed curry ink. Black ink, which I might just leave. Have that. I've got that one already there. Then I need to cut bee dies, and then cut bee template, and then stamparatus set up. I think that's it. Oh, do you think we should give everyone a candle? How many candles have I got left? Right, bring them over. I think I've got some other ones. Just bring those over. Let's see how many I've got. So I've got one in there. And I've got, let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'll do for now. I can see one in that basket at the top. That brownie basket. Yeah, that's 11. So I'll put candles.
I see some
So I've got 11 candles. Right, let me read. Adorable for a wedding tea. Oh yes, Bev. Oh, Bev, you've got wedding on the brain. I like the yellow bee. Looks gold or die cut from the paper. It does a bit, doesn't it? I wonder what the yellow with black wings would look like.
Better.
You think it would look better? Do you think it just needs more black?
Yeah, it all just looks the same.
My daughter says it needs more black. Yeah, I actually got, what I did was got a sponge, and before I stamped the yellow bee, I put a bit of brown on the wings. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but can you see how it's more yellow and it's brown on the wing? But my daughter's saying it should be black.
Yeah.
So.
That was a great contrast.
Yeah, black and yellow are good contrast. Well, I can always give them an option, can't I? First, if I put black, brown ink, and then I've got to remember a sponge, haven't I? Oh, now, did I remember sponge on my other? Yes, I did.
Someone says grey.
Oh, or dark grey. Yeah. That could work. Right, so I'll go through the measurements of the card in a second, but while I'm just tidying up, has anyone got any further questions? Right, I need some thick Whisper White cardstock. Ooh, May, can you just have a... What white card have I got on the top of there? No, that's an envelope. Oh, I've got some white card here. Right. That's my bead. I don't want to lose that, do I? Stick that with those. Okay, so no more questions. Right, I'm going to pull out a bit because I'm going to be doing some cutting. Right, I believe that the way I got the two bases from one sheet of A4 cardstock is to first of all cut my cardstock off at 7 centimetres. All right, so that then gave me enough to create two of those if needs be, but I'm actually just going to leave that as is because I don't need to use that right now. Then, oh, sorry, I'm just trying to find the template. Okay, here we go. So then, just kind of figure out what I used. I think I used inches. Sorry to do this, but I know I'm not really meant to do this, but I mixed 2 inches. There we go.
2 inches.
So you need to get rid of your cutting blade and then put your cardstock in at 2 inches. Score. And then at 14. Yes.
What would happen if you accidentally mix them up?
Well, I'd cut when I didn't want to cut.
Nobody's talking anymore.
They're all concentrating, darling.
I'm not.
So I could cut it at slightly bigger, like at 14.5, but there was a reason why I cut it a bit shorter. I think it was so that I could use a 4-inch piece of DSP and it not look weird. But you can cut it a bit higher if you want to. Okay. Right, so that's the way I got 2 pieces, 2 bases out of 1 A4 and a spare bit to create, you know, a piece to go there if I wanted to use that, but I'm not going to use that for this. Right, let me just check that that's correct against my card. Oh, that's not right, is it? Oh, da da da. Uh-oh. Why is that different? It's the same as that one. Oh dear, hold on. Let me go back to the drawing board. Alright, ignore that, everybody. It's 5 centimetres. What are you doing?
Pressing a button.
No, get off. Right, so what did I do wrong?
What did you do?
See, everyone's gone really quiet now. They're like, oh, Ruth's made another mistake.
Did you get inches and centimetres wrong?
Did I cut too much off?
Yes. Why are you using the wrong one? Not pressing.
No, there was a reason I did that.
Do not know.
Well, it's not a huge boo-boo. It's not going to look crazy different. Where's
Glad it's not just me who does that. And you're not the only one.
No. Okay, right. What we'll do is we'll just cut off 6 centimetres. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We'll sort it. The only issue now is have I got enough white cardstock
Go
for
with plan B.
everybody? Go with plan B. Well, I can go with the card that I did do initially. So we'll go with 6 centimetres.
Good afternoon.
So if I go with 6 centimetres... Oh, look how dirty that is. Hi, Linda. Yeah, you've just missed my boo-boos. It's all right. You haven't missed much. Right, let's just measure this. So about 6 centimetres. It makes it slightly bigger, but I'm going to go with 6 because I can't... I'm not going to be too pernickety. Right. Go with 6. Go with 6. Score at 2. Makes life easier. There we go. Cut at 14. 14. That'll do. Not faffing anymore. Just check that against there. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, so the official measurement is you cut off 6 centimetres, then score at 2, and then you're done. Oh no, I've got bits and things flying around. Yeah, that's the way to do it. So then, you know, you get 2 out of a sheet. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and hope I've got a little bit of more whisper white to do the rest of it. Right, there we go. The anatomy of a card, or creating a card for a class.
Where's anatomy?
Anatomy is like your body, your bits and pieces, all your breakdown of your body. So that's the card we're going to be doing next week. I hope that sort of made sense. Sorry about my boo-boos. Got there in the end. But so if anyone wants to create this for their class, you're more than welcome. And it's also a really basic template then that you could, you know, if you change the papers, you change the colour, the background. If you wanted to, you could also put a piece of DSP inside there instead of stamping. That's the other option if you're really into papers as opposed to doing stamping. Because as this has only got a little bit of stamping, it's mainly sort of sticking together really. So there we go. Lovely to see you all. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to watch more, Esther's about to go live on Facebook at 8:30, so in a quarter of an hour Esther's going to be going live, and then she's going to be back here on YouTube at 9 o'clock. And yeah, she's very good at her card making, isn't she? So she's super good fun. Right, lovely to see you all. I know, such is the creative process. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, I've got an envelope. I need to I've got your stuff in an envelope ready to send off. So May is such a good help, says Bev. She is, yeah.
Aww, thank you.
Right, I'm going to send her off to bed because it was very hard waking her up this morning, wasn't it, for school?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I normally wake up at 10. Now I wake up at 7:30.
No, she doesn't normally wake up at 10. She normally wakes up at 7:30, but because of the Christmas holidays, she's been waking up at 10. Yes. I know, I really struggled. I set my alarm for 7:30 and then I kept hitting the snooze button. And eventually I got up and then just pulled on my clothes. I didn't even have a shower. Then I got home from taking her to school and I had to go and have a lie down. And I had a little snooze for like 10 minutes. And then I was like, I've got to get up. And I had a coffee and then I got going with some paperwork. Oh, guys who donated for the Potter's House, I have a final total. Oh gosh.
I don't need to.
Oh my days. I do have a final total, but I can't remember exactly what it is. All I know is it is definitely £58 that we raised. and I've told Ruth, who is
I
super
get money.
happy. I said to her, I've got my PayPal and YouTube donations in now, and she was like, I have no idea how you do that, but thank you. And I was just like, well, it's just all my lovely followers. They've donated, different ones have donated for the charity. So
So it's no fun.
no fun. I know, Bev. I know. Sending it to.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so thank you everybody that donated. I'm really sorry that obviously I had to take off, I didn't take it off, but PayPal and YouTube take off what they do. So it obviously is slightly less than what you would have pressed the button for, but regardless, thank you so much. £58 goes so far in Kenya. It really does. Like, that could set up somebody's business. Like, it costs £50 to build a cabanda, which is like a stall, and to set someone up with a little business. So, like, you could be changing someone's life. It's just fabulous. So thank you so much. And I'm thinking that as the year progresses, maybe there'll be in other weeks that I choose, and then we'll do something. We'll do another kind of fundraiser thing. Yes, Potter's House. So yeah, did you like the page, Wendy? I have told Ruth that there may be some more people interested in getting a newsletter, and it was actually a bit of a kick up the backside for her to start writing a new newsletter. So if you are interested, please do email info@pottershousecbo.org, or if you need the information, just come to me and I'll give it to you. So thank you everybody. It's just really lovely that you guys you know, respect me enough to listen to what I have to say about this charity, and some of you were so kind enough to donate, so thank you. Really appreciate it. Yay. Oh yes, that's an idea, Janice. Yeah, or the other option is that I can actually, once the bank details once the British bank account is up and running, I can just give you the sort code and account number, and you can donate the money straight into their account. So that's the other option. And I'm going to get on at Ruth to maybe sort out a PayPal account for them, because you could charity donate it. So yes, I love it. So amazing. I felt so privileged and spot reading the Facebook page. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
6 likes.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button if you want notifications. I know, but that's me. I'd be subscribed to myself if I did that. So hitting the thumbs up button really just helps with the YouTube knowing that you guys like what I do. I know it might seem like a really small gesture, but just hitting that like button does help YouTube to go, yeah, she's doing some cool stuff.
Enjoyed this live, off to cook dinner.
Enjoy your dinner. Yeah. Right, bye everyone. Have a great day, and go and watch Esther. Bye.